Hi guys, this is gonna be a quick message. I don't know for who it is. It could be all signs, but you could be hiding from love or not opening up to love. And it says, like, look, this mistake lesson is part of God. So you could have went through something that was a little bit traumatic, drastic, though. Somebody that just didn't know how to handle their emotions, didn't know how to love you, didn't know how to be there for you. For some of you guys, I'm hearing you need to learn love language. Maybe you put your trust into somebody, and you feel like you got hurt. But the good thing is you learning from this experience. Go to my community tab and check out that song that I put about love. And it's not for you to get back at somebody like, oh, let me get back and cheat in here. No, man or woman, it doesn't matter. It's not about that. The karmic lesson is for you to learn to go within, to align with God, to really, I always align with God, say, God, what I need to do. But on this last one, oh my miss. I mean, he made me really go through it and really know, but it was part of my blessing. It was the wisdom that I needed. So you could be in that energy like, man, why? And it's not to close your heart and to give your nalgas all around town. No, you'd be doing more damage to yourself. Don't do that. Especially with all that shit out there. No manches. Even if they wrap it up, it could tear. What if he has a small little pecker and it fucking falls out and then bam, you're pregnant or you got something else? Or if it's too big el pinche machete y se rompe el pinche este, olvídate. So that's up to you. So some of you guys, this trauma, the devil could be like, come on, do it. Or your friends could be the part of the demonic clique, But here's what, these cards fell out and mira, hasta el moon salió. And it said right here, look, me quieres, demuéstramelo. For the ones that don't know how to speak this language, it says, you love me? You want me? Prove it. And for some of you guys, man or woman, even if you're a man, you're like, yeah, I don't know about you, but if they already jumped on something else, mira, aquí, no more. And women, you could be that way too. This is a test that God is putting you on, like, okay, what are your morals? What is it that you want for your life? It could be different from your friend, your sister, your mom, your dad. It could be different. They could be crazy as hell. And you want to follow your morals. Some of you guys are meant to create them. Like, this is how it's going to be, when it comes to love, when it comes to, a relationship. That's why it's good to know before you jump in and you give the cookies. Hey, what is this going to be? No strings attached. Are you sure? Because once you get this cookie, you could be that way. You know your power. You know what you carry. You value it. Like me, I'm a man. Not any nalgas touch this chiquito, this little one. No. Pinche chilito, pero it doesn't touch cualquiera's nalgas. Not what, I'm saying my little pecker doesn't just touch anything. Educational purpose and truth. But trauma, and by you standing in this energy, you're overcoming this trauma. It's a past. And for some of you guys, you could have been acting different in the past. You felt like affection. You had to open up and give yourself and not really put your, first is God, then you, but you were violating even your own heart, your worth. You're not doing that no more. Why? Because for some of you guys, you're not embarrassed. Guilt and shame is of the devil, and he's gonna want to use it. I know. Hopefully nobody finds out. They're gonna find out sooner or later, and what are you gonna do? So that's why now, as you're maturing, because let me tell you, I still have a little bit more to mature. And for some of us, we got parents that they're not even maturing. You los traes de la mano, and they, and it could be the other way around. You be oldie and you could be telling your adult son, like, no mames. Not all of you guys, but some of you guys. But it's okay. We all came here to learn different lessons, karmic lessons. See, it says right there, this mistake lesson is part of God's plan, and it doesn't matter what age you are. Don't let anybody critique you or, guilt or shame you. You're going to want to change. Some of us are dealing with people, they don't want to change, and that's okay. Sometimes you wonder if they're like, how did I come, if you're talking about your mom, you're like, how did I come out of there? ¿Por qué? Why is it that they don't listen, they don't understand? And it's just the way it is. Remember, we're dealing with spiritual warfare, not against flesh and blood, but anyhow, so by you addressing this trauma that you have, and for some of you guys, like, you're not allowing this, let me sweep things under the rug, ay, que no sepa nadie, for nobody to find out, let's keep it within the family. No, bullshit, aquí no, and it stops with you by speaking out. And for some of you guys, it's been hard because you ask God, like, were you supposed to take revenge, not me? And it could be to where you're really following that path. For me, it was like, well, wow. And I had to get confirmation. Do I speak about it or what? And yes, for some of us, we're speaking up, and and I tippy-toe around it. Why? Because I don't want to fall into the devil's trap. The devil will tell you, yeah, what if it ain't from God, that voice? Sometimes you be on that level, and I'd rather God be mad. Why didn't you do it? Because I want to make sure it's you. Man, if you know and you start to get into the book, it'll tell you some people got tricked. I ain't trying to get tricked out of my spine. But if God, it's his word and everything, okay? And you'll get your signs. And God knows your heart regardless. He knows your heart, your intentions. So if you make a mistake, you take it up with God and say, man, it was an honest mistake. All right. But anyhow, some of you guys, and people are not going to like it, the ones that they don't want you to speak about the trauma that happened. For some of you guys, you could be dealing in separation. Let's say you guys are in separation, and you could be a woman, and bastardo. Some of you guys call them bastardo. And I have to be careful. But God says, take it easy. Don't throw that anger, because it'll reflect back to you. Say, ese bastardo con amor, like with love. Coward, with love. But they might have took your babies, and as a mother, that could hurt, no matter how full you are. Because for some of you guys, you could have been in a position, or you are, and you're having these thoughts, and that's where the enemy is really playing on you. Instead, take it as God allowed them to go on that side while he works on you, and take that time to connect. But it's unfair, infinite. And even for my fellas, you could be in here like, man, they set me up. And we have a lot of that in the past, especially around the 2020, when the COVID, it was a lot. And a lot of fellas, even ladies, I met ladies, like up north where I was at, and there's like a support group more for women. But I was able to, to participate. And there's a lot of women, the men just, and some of the men, the women put them through school and everything, like supporting them, just like the men do for the women. Because I'm talking about in general. Don't take it just as in preference, as only women. It happens to men too. And they get like, in Spanish they say, se le sube la pinche cabeza, macetón acá, big old head, and they think they're superior now that they have money. But in reality, for some of them, men or women, they didn't have that, so they don't know how to act. And then when they realize that it was really energetic, when you pull yourself back and you really call your energy back, and you're going through the steps that God has, because for a while, let them laugh. The more they laugh, the better. Laugh with them. Just be like, wait until you see what Papa Dios is going to do, Not even that, just let it go. But for a lot of you guys, you're going to have somebody coming in, and your trauma is going to kick in. And this is a test, especially with all this BS que pinche trans, and que sabe que, mira, a line right there, and Don't be afraid, because a lot of you guys, you're gonna learn by doing whatever it is for, whether it's a new career, whether you just got pregnant and it was an accident, you don't know how to be a mom, your mom didn't know how to be a mom, nor the grandma, and it just goes on. You just have to learn, and the best thing you can do is educate yourself while you're pregnant, while you're on downtime. Even if you're not pregnant, you could have a hernia or something. You could feel, if you're mad, pinche panzota, or you could be like I was, I was kind of big. It was a sexual callus. I was a horny motherfucker, and I called it my sexual callus. Now, pues mira, I don't have nothing. Está cabrón. When you get spiritual, you know how to harness your energy. So anyways, it says, so you could be ready. Some of you guys have done the work and you're getting ready to meet somebody. And I don't think you're going to be afraid to open up to love. For some of you guys in the past, you'd be like, fuck that. And please watch it. I'm hearing, pay attention to who you're listening to, whether podcast or anything. If you're a woman, you want to use your discernment. Because there's people that want to push you to think a certain way. And they could be traumatized, and they maybe act like they don't. And some women are scorned, so they're going to give you advice. Fuck, man, and this, what are you going to do? You become a pinche lesbian, and then it doesn't work out, and you're like, fuck that, I'd rather go back to a man. That's for some of you guys, not all of you guys. So pay attention who a woman should be in her feminine energy to attract. And for my fellas, you need to learn how to balance, because my ladies, you probably already went through your masculine energy where you fucking whooped that dude's ass and kicked him out the house, did all that. That wasn't, you were enraged, you were in your masculine, you needed to know how to calm that down. Some of you guys are laughing, pobrecito cabrón. They don't even want to come back. They feel like you might chop their nose, and that could have been your era where you were in your Lilith. Según Lilith, que la chingada, I don't know. That's what I'm picking up. So, what else do they need to know? Mira, le encantas, they admire you. So, there's somebody, and some of you guys are like, please, infinite, don't let it be my ex. And you're like that, and only God and you know. For some of you guys, it could be your ex coming back and totally different. If he was bald like me, now he looks like los bookies, with long hair, but just like right here this way. You're like, fuck, I wish. De perdido sabe cantar. Maybe he knows how to sing, But for a lot of you guys, this is somebody new. And they don't just like you, they admire you. Like, for my fellas, if you're listening, man, make sure que te bañes bien, like wash yourself good, get the weed whacker down there, because you don't know, this person might come into your life, and this could be a gift, for the moment. For some of you guys, practice, so do your breathing exercises. For my ladies, the same thing. You might be, acá in your pinches chanclas going to the taco stand, where you normally go. It's just around the corner. I can't meet nobody. And this fool pulls out in a fucking Honda Civic, pero not just the regular base one, the pinche, with all the bells and whistles. Fucking little rim, shiny. And a gold tooth. And for some of you guys, yeah, you might think, I don't want that. No, you don't know what God has planned for you. Something about you guys using your discernment. When God has a plan for all of us, at first it might not look like it. But then when he puts the right people together, man, you guys will grow. Some of you guys, you're looking at a person that's already been through the process. And he's got, he's leveled up, he or she. And you could be getting tested. Somebody that wants to come in and just harness your energy. No, a la chingada, fuck that. You already went through one. You ain't trying to go back. Vámonos. So somebody really, admires you. Encantas. And this is this is what you're going to say. A ver, well, show me why. And this is where you start to learn to live life differently. Like, I heard you get into the game, not the dope game, bitches. Well, some of you guys, you're leaving that, but you're moving different. Moving different. Maybe you're still in there. I don't know. But some of you guys are just moving different. Let's get off the subject. What God wants, what God wants is to bless you. Oh, my bad. I can't even read it, but it says, what God wants to bless you requires trust. You see what I'm talking about? It's because esta noche, ahorita it's nighttime. So some of you guys, if this is your message, you're going to want to go to 1 Timothy 1, 12 to 13. And it said right here, read it. I would add BITCH, but we're on a different vibration. It says, you think because in the past spoke against him or didn't trust him, disobey him, like maybe in the past you didn't believe in God. And you might feel like, oh, how is God gonna bless me? Well, when you start to really align and say, oh, shit, I didn't know God. God is not gonna bless you, just, hi, Miko, here you go. You did all these things wrong. No, he's gonna say, are you sure you want to follow me? Yeah, okay. Sign up. And it's like the military, bitches. You're gonna get in line and thinking it's gonna be rah yaka. And then, boy, you have to pass the test, and then he purifies you and takes all these bad soul ties you have, and you're like, nah, I was only with 5 people, and you're hiding your hand back here. God knows. So he has to purify you. Even my vato locos that are on here, they're more like, yeah, he tells the truth. I'm telling the truth, God. I was with 10 bitches. It was only 2. Eso sí echan mentiras. It was only 10 bitches. And God's like, where? What are their names? I don't know for who that was for, generally. But what it requires is trust, and God might be telling you as well. ¿Me quieres? Demuéstramelo. Show me. And you'll go through a period of time and you have temptation. And for some of you guys, you might choke the chicken. And for my ladies, I got DJ, because you get to the point where like, and you were just that close, and it's okay. Then you start to trust God and be like, all right. Yeah, because he was around the way right there at the taco stand. Y ahí vas, bien perjumada. And you know that Antonio that is right there, with the half mullet. He's still living in the 80s, pero he wants, and he has a gold tooth. You're like, fuck, that God, I know that ain't for me. Why? Because you're picking up the red flags, and you're like, yep, that would be a karmic lesson. So no. So you're passing that test. So I don't know what else. It says cut karmic ties, call back your energy. Didn't we just talk about that? So some of you guys, go ahead. I was gonna say it. Should I say it? Yeah, go around a tree. Some of you guys will understand it. This is not for all of you guys. Go around a tree. And there's just, for the ones that have that vibration of trees, like there's something about it. You have this favorite tree, maybe at a park, at your house. Who knows? And hug it. Spend time. Talk. There's something about the roots run deep, and you have the ability to ground yourself. And plus, there's something about that tree. Some of you guys, it could have been a tree that maybe you and somebody you love that's already in the other, crossed over. Maybe you guys planted together. Now it's bigger. It could have been, like at for some of you guys, like a grandparent's house and their father. It has some aging. And there's something about that tree. It's very specific for some of you guys. And some of you guys, even your kids have attached to there. Either they play there, they swing, or they climb it, whatever it is. Put it in the comments if that's for you. It says nothing tears a family apart like money. See what I was talking about? Some of you guys, when you go back, and that's gonna be where maybe you're talking to this tree. You're like, why? Some of you guys could be fighting somebody, like they want to cut the tree, and it could be somebody so arrogant, so greedy. And this could be a sibling. It could be another uncle and stuff, and they're only doing it because what it meant, the meant, and you're fighting for it, and you're gonna do good. And some of you guys, look, it says clarity. Some of you guys are wanting to find out, a little bit more how a particular family member died, and you want clarity. And for some of you guys, what you've been going through, it's teaching you how to really, if you were dealing with in the past where you were uncertain of certain things that happened, because remember we talked about sweeping under the rug. Some of you guys are digging deep, and we talked about the tree. You're really going down the family tree and wanting to break generational curses to, you don't want to do that no more. And if you guys experience abuse as a child, you're like, maybe this is, in this lifetime, you are meant to break it. But I'm going to tell you, for some of you guys, it's going to require you, leaving a lot of people. And it's not you leaving. It's, for some of you guys, you feel you're getting rejected by them, family and all that. No, that's God setting you apart. And it looks like, because the devil creates confusion and illusions. I mean, major, you're over here thinking they reject you, and it could look, you'll be like, they fucking dragged me out the house. I barely was trying to blow your hair. If you have hair like me, I don't have it, but you didn't even know. It was a setup by God. Vámonos. And what that's teaching you as a process, you're learning how to take your power back. It could have been hard, and it ain't easy, but it's worth it. And it says right here, it's like, this is where God puts you on your purpose, and it gets easier and better. And these fuckers have to work, and they're pissed because you're chilling, you're not stressing out. And then before you were fighting it, you're fighting against God. I'm telling you, how could this be God? That's the way it works. Process, I can't. But you help others, like, really go through this process. A lot of people, they're afraid. Why do you think they all team up against one person? And it's funny, because you would think other people would be awakened. They're over here, this person is the evil one. And it's one person. Come on. And then especially with it, when it's family and they're all gathering together, and the outside people are looking, your friends and other ones, they're teaming up because you have a light. They saw it. You know it, but you kind of like, nah, it's not me. Because they would use your light. But now you're going to see it, and you're going to teach people how to gain their power back, how to cut karmic ties, how to really put boundaries and say, okay, if you admire me, in my energy, te encanta, okay, well, prove it to me. And that's where you're going to be equal give and take. You ain't chasing shit no more. Man or woman, you're, especially a man, you're not chasing nalgas no more. They're coming to you, and you have the power to attract them with your eyes, your energy. Some of you guys, you just start to hum, picture it, and you're going to pull attraction if and only if they're on your vibration level. Because God ain't going to allow you to bring in some of you guys, but I like them sucias acá bailando y todo. That's your whole life. You cleaning up, bitch. Man or woman. Anyways, it says, in love, to help them find self-love. So you see, you'll be helping others. You're becoming a teacher. Some of you guys are wishing, quiero ser un sexologist. Some of you guys, you might have a lot of Scorpio in your chart. You want to be sexologists, but what if they're coming with all kinds of pinche jaibas y todo? You don't want that. Remember, be careful what you wish for. That's for somebody. You're moving to the front of the line. Ándale, cabrón, cabrona. These are my old cards, man. I need to pull these back. You're moving to the front line. Put it in the comments. I'm moving to the front line, bitch. I would put it, bitch. I'm not supposed to say that, chinga. B-I-C-T-H. Órale. See, when you build a relationship with your creator, you have this joy, this happiness. It's returning because you've always had it. You just went through a process where it could have been traumatizing. I'm even sweating. So there's angels all around me. Some of them, yeah. Anyways, let's go. And where am I at? So anyway, so you're going to the front of the line. So you've been kicking it in the back, and this is cool because if you picture this, it's almost like they're in the front over there, but they're looking back at you. And this could be family, friends, whatever, employees or ex co-workers. They're over here, but because they did something, you know, they wished you bad and they were expecting you to come back. But some of you guys had like a ghost or an ancestor holding you back, you know, because you would have. And they don't realize that you're about to be catapulted, something like that. You know, they use that rubber band. You know, the arrow for us Mexicans, pinche resortera, fucking, what do you call those slingshots? But not the ones from pinche Walmart or Academy, the ones we make, you know, with pinche rubber band and fucking one of those strong ass leaves, you know. If you know, you know. Look at those little things, the semillas from the tree. That motherfuckers hurt. Vámonos. My cousins from Mexico, puto. And they fucking, anyways, fucking killing squirrels, all kinds of shit. Fucking hurt us. Órale putos, you know. Pochos, they would call us. Not us, but for some of them. But yeah, look, you're moving to the front of the line. Could be at Burger King, McDonald's. My cousins, I used to fuck with them all the times. They would pull up. Órale putos, that's where I would get them. I knew a little bit more English than them. ¿Qué quieres, güey? They just smile. Double. Let's go. So, anything else? For the viewer, 12/12. So something could happen on December 12/12. Or 3/3, you might see this on the clock, you know. When that happens and you see 12/12, be careful. Right away, if you're in this energy of being mad at somebody and you see 12/12, go like that and change your attitude, your energy. You know, whoever you're fucking with, like if you're making love, oh my God, and you see 12/12, two things. Their partner could be coming in right away and you're going to get in trouble. That's karma. Or you already, and there's a surprise coming. Because it's in December. That's around, you know, Christ. So you might be getting somebody pregnant, or you may be getting pregnant. You know, or if you're in an argument, this is the moment you need to switch that energy before you ruin it. Both of you guys. And it takes one person to really switch an argument. Guy or woman, man or woman, whoever is listening to this. Because the devil's right there playing with you guys. You guys are getting hot and heated. And it just takes one person to really say, you know, back up and say, you know what? You look kind of sexy, mad, you know, you're turning me on. It just takes that thing, that little energy, man or woman. Like, really look at your partner. You could ruin the whole a whole relationship by holding on to pride. You're with the person now. If they did something, you know, talk it over before it gets too worse, they said. You could be like, you know what? I know we're in the argument. You could be mad in the kitchen. You could be, you know what? Right now, you're going to move to the front line. What is that? Vámonos al pinche cuarto. I still would be like, what do you mean front line? You have other people. But see, it's tricky. You have to know not to say that. For some of you guys, if this is a customer or something and you have a business, they could be pissed. And you have a structure. But sometimes you need to make them feel special. And it's okay. You're going to have to be able to handle business in a certain way. Not angry. Because some of you guys with pressure, you don't know what to do, you know. And you could get a little tense. And let me tell you, you have already learned if this is business, family, friends, especially family, there's no loyalty. Only God. And when God removes, that's where you have to stay loyal. Be like, okay, God, if this wasn't for me, okay. If this business went this way, only you know why. And it's going to be hard. Because you want to fight, but when you're lined in, because if it's in business, you got to be able to handle. Some of you guys, if Somebody from your past could be dealing with that, but they don't know. And maybe your clients took their side and you stayed acá, which is good. You trusted God. You put God above everything. For the ones that did, ahí viene lo bueno. The good things are coming. Because, man, look in the Bible. A lot of people, when they trusted God, they went through everything. And God, I'm hearing this, look. You love me? ¿Me quieres? You want me? Show me. Demonstrate. And this is what's happening. Some of you guys, you're not realizing the blessing you have coming. All I could tell you is you did good. If you cut ties already, you're good. And pull back your energy. You know, get rid of the shit that they probably gave you. Something like that. They could have been cursed. Yeah. Some of you, if you're a lady, you could be wondering, why? I took my husband back. No se le para y todo. There's something he might have that they gave him. He's trying to hold it right here. And no, you got to talk to him. Mira, Federico, dime que chingados, what are you doing? What do you have? And you know what? Get rid of that. And it could be, pinche polvo or something. Maybe he does a pinche too much. For some of them, it's no bueno. And if you're man or woman, especially if you're man, that shit, if it affects you in that way, a la chingada, no, go fucking work out para que estés machine. You know, the older you get, está cabrón. Mira, I'm even sweating. Yeah, for some, that shit ain't built for everybody. It's not built. It shouldn't even be. That's what I'm hearing. But yeah, even for the heavy smokers, ahí están todos tirados. I'm on OJ cushion, asleep. Y el que no fuma tan chinga acá y no se dan cuenta. Man, so. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Whoever resonated with this energy, just know it's part of God's plan. It's not a mistake. Look at it from a higher precision. Like, look at it from a different. And always honor yourself, God, your soul, your happiness. If it's not making you happy, if you're not excited, something's wrong. Trust me, there's somebody from your past that you brought a lot of excitement. For some of you guys, I'm hearing before I close out, usually like you could be with a person like the honeymoon phases, y ahí estás, and then after a while, pues, it's like, it's not the same, But for some of you guys, there's a person from your past that fucking lit you up. Like, it was almost like the first time all the time. Not all the time, but there was just a bond that when you looked, we were right there. And then you were in sync with your breathing. It was like kundalini, así. And you guys didn't even know. And for some of you guys, it wasn't a mistake that they left. They didn't honor you. There was lies, all kinds of stuff. And that you were their gift, bitch. You were their gift. Not you, bitch, but the other one. Man or woman, you were. And if you're a man, you were their thing. Pull your energy back. Women, man or women. So that's what I got for you guys. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and comment. Remember, it could be anybody.